Premises liability cases cover a broad spectrum of cases. They include cases where you hear people slip and fall. And you know, you hear people turn their nose up at slip and fall. You slip and fall, show them false, you ought to be looking where you're going. You know, that's just not fair. Think about this for just a minute. Your average person has a slip and fall, let's say they're 50, 45, I don't care, they're grown-ups. Think about how long they've been walking. They started walking as little kids, and they stumbled and fell all the time. By the time they were 7 or 8, were they falling all the time? Maybe a little clumsy, fell here and there. Time they got 10 years old, 15, 20, 25, you're a pretty experienced walker. You've been walking a long time. You kind of got that thing down. You don't just spontaneously walk and fall. So most times, not always, but the vast majority of the time, someone walking through a store and goes down, boom. They didn't spontaneously at 50 years old at that moment forget how to walk. Something's wrong. And when they say there was some slippery substance that shouldn't be there, because people are, you know, you go in stores, how many stores have you ever been in where they put the products and all the promotionals on the floor? They say, look up here, look over here, look up here. We want you to look up here. We've written stuff up here. You reach up here to get it. You want to read what's in the product, you're looking up. Everything in stores is up, closed. They don't lay them on the floor. So you're looking up. You're not looking down. And it's easy to say, but you ought to be looking where you're going. That's just not fair. Because when usually it happens in some store or someplace, you're by design, their design, not looking down. And you didn't fall for no reason. It wasn't a spontaneous forgetting how to walk and I'm just going to collapse at this moment. Something slick was on the floor, and if you're going to open your business up and say look up, then clean up. And if you don't, fess up. Don't try to blame the person. So we do those cases. That's premises liability. And they're dignified cases. And people that act otherwise haven't thought through it. And when we try a case, we get them to think through it. And when they do, our experience is they do the right thing. Because then they readjust and go, you know what? That's the way I walk through a store too, and they ought not be having that on the floor. It also includes things like crime. Someone is at an apartment complex and they get raped or shot or beaten half to death. And you run what we call crime grid, and you look to see how much crime's in the area. Was this just some unforeseeable thing? That good, no one would have thought there'd be crime there. And you find out there's all this crime been going on, violent crime all around. And then you find out they got one security guard on this huge premises, and he's only there some of the time. And the defense would say this: well, you can't, it happens too fast. How was he supposed to, how are we going to know that it was going to happen here at this moment, at this time, and have the security guard there? It's a very fair response, except it misses the point. If you have adequate lighting and a fence and enough security walking around, guess what the criminal does? Most of the, not always, some things really are unavoidable, but most of the time, what's he do? He says, I'll go somewhere else. That doesn't look very inviting. That looks like a place I'm gonna get caught. They don't like getting, rapists don't want to get caught. Robbers and people that beat someone silly and take their wallet don't want to get caught. They want the wallet. So they go somewhere else. It's preventative medicine. We've all heard, you know, an ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure. You're never going to stop it. It's too quick once it starts. So make it very uninviting to ever get started. And is that asking too much? When you're saying, come stay at my place, and I want all your money for all your rent to stay here, but I don't want to make the place safe for you and your kids. So that's another kind of premises liability case. And there are things fall down on people and crush them that shouldn't, and holes on property. They're all kind of premises cases. But they're important cases, because beside the justice in that case, you know, when that store that ends up not paying attention and they don't check and don't routinely take the time to have someone walk and check and make sure stuff isn't on the floor, they're sloppy and they're dirty, or that apartment complex that is going on the cheap and putting everyone at risk, you hit one of those justifiably on the facts and the law, and a jury from our community comes together and says, this was wrong. They didn't do their job right. The word spreads. And people clean their stuff up. And they make it safer. And that's good for everybody. So we do those cases, and they matter to that client, and they matter to the rest of us.